Good morning, everybody. Happy Wednesday. It is 6 a.m. where I am, and I don't normally do mornings, but apparently you guys didn't get enough of me a couple weekends ago, so here I am again. So we titled this, this Zoom, we titled this Closing, Relationship Building, and Branding, but I titled it backwards. So I'm literally going to work backwards from the title. So first, I want to go into branding. I feel like this is something that's actually really difficult for people, including myself when I first came into this business. Branding yourself is something that's going to take some work. It's going to take a lot of self-reflection. It's going to take, you really digging deep, doing some soul searching and figuring out who the hell you are as a person, right? And then branding yourself as that person. I took some notes. If you see me looking down a lot, that's why. So when we're trying to brand ourselves, the first question you should be asking yourself is, what are you an expert at? What are you an expert at? And what are you an expert about? What do you know, like the back of your hand? What do you know that you could sit there and literally talk for hours and hours and hours about, right? What are you really, really good at? Are you good at baking? Is baking like your thing? Are you really good at yoga? Do you do yoga? Are you good at, like, there's just a whole list of different things that you could be good at. Maybe you're good at doing nails. Maybe you're good at doing makeup. Maybe you're good at arts and crafts. Maybe you're good at sewing or knitting or whatever it may be whatever it may be. Maybe you're really good at working out or meal prepping for the week or whatever it is. You're going to have to sit down and really think hard about what it is that you are good at and what it is that you are an expert at. Now, if coming into this business, it is really difficult. I know for me, it was really hard for me to kind of figure out what my brand was going to be, because for the longest time, all I've been is a mom and a wife, right? So it's really difficult to figure out who you are, what you like, and what you do when 99% of your time you're being a mom or you're being a wife and you're not really being you. So with that being said, I think it's really, really important that you make time for yourself to get to know yourself, right? And maybe coming into this business, you really don't have anything that you're good at or an expert about or whatever, right? But maybe part of your brand is that journey to figuring out who you are and what you are about. When you're branding yourself, and I've got a couple things, hopefully you guys have like a pen and paper, you can write some of this down. The first thing obviously is, what are you an expert about and what are you an expert with? What is something that you can talk about all freaking day, no problem, right? Second thing, be genuine. Being genuine and being authentic and being yourself is going to brand you as well. Being who you are in general is going to brand you. Try not to get caught up in being like somebody else, okay? Because that's probably the worst thing you can do for your brand, because people will know, right? If you're being genuine and authentic, that's going to brand you. So for me, for instance, I have no filter. I'm very, very unfiltered. I'm very genuine. I'm very authentic. I share like everything about my life, like the down, dirty, gritty, all of it, right? So when you're branding yourself, be genuine about who you are and what you do, what you believe in, what your faith is, your beliefs in general. Just be real. Literally be real. Don't try to pretend. Try not to get caught up in imposter syndrome, which I've done before. So if you've done that, don't feel ashamed, because I've gotten caught up in the whole imposter syndrome myself. But really focus on just being you, because that's how people are going to remember you. That's how people are going to know you, right? For just being yourself. Hold on, my phone went to sleep. Third thing, tell a story. Tell a story. If your personal brand isn't telling a story, you've already lost half of your potential audience. right? So basically, your brand should tell a story. So my story, I have a huge story. It's humongous. Like, I can't even tell you like how far back it goes, like my childhood, the abuse in my life, the shitty mother that I had, my drug abuse, the fact that I used to be a stripper. I had this huge story behind me. And then the story turns into when, you know, I had my son and kind of tried to get my life together. And then I got fired and Thrive came into my life and Lavelle came into my life. And what that has done for me, like physically and health wise, and then what it's done for me and my family financially. Right. So there's a whole story there, and every day more gets added to this story. And people know me because I tell my story, right? Because I tell that story all the time. Once a week at least, I am putting my story out there, right? So with that being said, I know that I'm doing the right thing and I'm telling my story, because you guys, when I go to Target now, like people I don't even know, that I don't even recognize, are like, hey, Krystle. And I'm like, well, hey, what's up? And they're like, you're the girl on Facebook. You're the girl that sells Thrive. Yes, I am. Or they say things like, oh my God, you're the girl who has a narcissistic mom. Like, I have a narcissistic mom too. Or, hey, you're the girl that does yoga. Like, that's part of my story. And I branded myself for that because I continually tell my story. And when you tell your story, people get to know you. And that kind of goes back to the thing I said before about being genuine, telling your story about your life, where you're going, where you've been, where you're headed, what you do. Talk about it, you guys. Seriously, talk about it. Moving on. Be consistent. Be consistent. Being consistent is very similar to having a narrow focus. It's much easier to get recognized for one topic if you consistently create content and brand voice around it. So be consistent with your brand, whatever your brand is. So if your brand is, let's take Brittany Hyder, for example. She's a dog mom. She's a foster dog mom, right? She's consistently talking about that, consistently every single day. And people know her because of that. Look at her picture. Her picture up here is her and a little tiny puppy, right? She's consistent with talking about that. I'm consistent with talking about yoga and my narcissistic mom and drug recovery. I'm consistent about talking about the products and the business. Everything about me, my son, my husband, my life, the business, the products, my hobbies, my likes, my dislikes, I constantly and consistently talk about those things, to where like it could almost be annoying. Like, some people out there are probably like, God, does she talk about anything other than freaking yoga and Thrive? Or does she talk about anything else other than her psychotic mom and her drug problems she used to have, right? But if you do it consistently, people, it's kind of like the whole thing. Hey, Sherry, can you mute your microphone, please? Thank you. Okay, sorry, I can't concentrate when that happens. So like they say it all the time, you know, if you're consistent with talking about things, people will eventually like have it memorized, basically, right? So how many of you watch TV and there's that one commercial and you've probably seen it a gazillion times, and now every time it comes on TV, you know all the words to the song or the whole beat of it, you know? Like, that's what that is, right? Because that company, whoever's running that commercial on TV, consistently plays that same song on every single commercial, right? So now when you even hear that business company name, that's the first thing that pops up in your head, is that freaking song, right? So think of it that way when you're branding yourself. Make sure you're being consistent with what, with your topic, whether it's, you know, your brand is what I mean, and what you do, your business, your products, and your brand. the things that you're good at, the things that you are experts at. Consistently talk about those things, you guys. Next thing is create a positive impact, you guys. After you've developed your personal brand over a period of time, there are generally two ways to continue to build your brand: hop over others and burn bridges, or steadily grow a community around your brand. You guys, your brand should have some kind of impact on people, right? It should create some kind of emotion in people. So for instance, I've branded myself pretty well with being the daughter of a narcissistic mother, right? So my brand is giving, what I do is I give other women hope that had narcissistic mothers as well, right? I'm in narcissistic mother groups, and I help give them advice, and I guide them, and I let them know that they're not around. I'm giving them a positive impact. Okay, so I'm sticking out. I'm unique. I'm there for people. I'm impacting their life in some way, shape, or form. Same with yoga, right? So I do a lot of yoga, and a lot of people reach out to me for advice on yoga and how to do yoga, and I post about yoga, and that impacts people. I get people in my inbox all the time, like, just watching you do yoga makes me want to do yoga. How do I start? Right? I've impacted them in some way because I'm still sharing my stuff, my brand, what I do, what I'm good at, what I'm an expert with. So make sure that you're creating a positive impact. The key word there is positive, you guys. So I know it sounds like having a narcissistic mother is a really negative thing, right? Like, how in the hell do you get anything positive out of that? You got to get creative, right? So you try to be a support for people. So whatever your brand may be, maybe you are an abuse survivor. Turn that negative into a positive so people have something positive to look forward to if they're in that situation, right? Don't leave people to feel alone. Thank you, honey. Don't make people feel alone. So have an impact where they don't feel alone and have a positive impact on those people. Let's say you guys are completely lost. You have no idea what you're good at, what to do, how to do it, or anything, right? So here's a tip. Follow a successful example, right? We have so many successful people in the world, in this business, in network marketing. People interested in personal branding need to start marketing themselves like the celebrities and the influential people that they look up to every day. So I want you to think of somebody that you look up to, whether it's somebody famous, maybe it's somebody who's been really successful in life or in this business or whatever it may be, anybody, right? So think real quick. Just for example, Michael Jordan. That man has branded himself to beyond belief, right? You hear Michael Jordan and you think basketball, you think sneakers, you think like really tall dude with a basketball. Like, that guy has branded himself, right? Think about Jennifer Lopez. That girl branded her butt. People know Jennifer Lopez because of her big ass, right? And she's an amazing actress, right? So, and how else did she brand herself? Those sunglasses, right? The J-Lo sunglasses, the big, huge sunglasses. That woman branded her butt, and she's like a gazillionaire now, right? Think how other people have branded themselves, and try to kind of follow their example, right? So, for instance, let's just go back to Jennifer Lopez. She branded her butt, right? So any music video that you watch, they're zooming in on her butt, completely zooming in on her butt. Like, she just continues to share her butt. Okay, I thought that was a funny kind of example there. Live your brand. Live your brand. As mentioned before, one of the ways you can make building a personal brand difficult on yourself is to separate your brand from your personal life. Okay, so while certainly doable, it's easier than initially creating a personal brand to have your actual lifestyle and brand be one and the same. So whatever you're branding yourself on. So whether it's yoga, alcoholism, recovery, dog mom, baker, cook, somebody who does a ton of crock pot meals, somebody who does anything, you need to live that. And hold on a second, I lost my train of thought. Live your brand, as mentioned before. Live, okay, so live that life, right? So that's you have to live your brand. So it has to be a part of your everyday life. So you're not going to go and try and brand yourself on knitting if you only knit once or twice a year, right? You're not going to go brand yourself on I don't know, painting. Let's say you want to brand yourself on painting, but you only paint like every 6 months, right? When you're branding yourself, you have to brand yourself with something that you are living. It's literally a part of your daily life. You can't go a day without it. It's just there with you all the time, and you're living it. That's what you do. You live, eat, breathe, poop, pee your brand. Okay. It has to be your lifestyle, you guys. It has to be your lifestyle, part of your lifestyle, whatever it may be. Maybe one of your branding things is a mom of 3 boys. You're raising 3 boys every single day. It's a lifestyle, right? That is a lifestyle. Doing yoga, that's a lifestyle. And then make that part of what you sell, part of your products and part of your business, right? Entwine those together. When you're building your brand, think about leaving a legacy. So this might help you as well as far as getting to brand yourself. Think about what you want people to remember you for, right? What are people going to remember about you when you die? I know that's like probably a touchy subject for some people, trigger warning, hashtag. But really think about the legacy that you're leaving behind. What do you want to be remembered for? What are people going to remember you for when your day comes, right? Once you've built a personal brand with a reputation and a community behind it, the next step is to think about the legacy that you'll leave behind. What are the keywords and actions that you want to be known for? What are you going to be known for when you leave this earth? Those are the things that you should brand yourself on. People are going to know Krystle was a girl that did yoga. People know that Krystle is the Thrive Girl, right? People know that Krystle was an abuse survivor. People know that Krystle beat addiction, right? So that's what I brand myself on. And that's what people are going to remember about me. People are going to remember that I help people, that I was there for people. So think about that when you are branding yourself. What legacy are you leaving behind? Okay, now this is really going to help you brand yourself, okay? And it's funny because this is what we do. Start networking. Start networking, right? By forming relationships with people in your audience, you can grow your business and your brand long-term. Just by talking to people and networking and getting to know people and letting people get to know you is what's going to help get you branded, right? People are getting to know you. They know who you are. You're talking about the stuff that you're good at. You're talking about the things that, why am I drawing a blank? You're talking about the things that you're an expert about, right? So you're networking. That's what's going to help brand you to people. That's what this business is all about, is networking. Talking to people, building relationships, getting people to know who you are, what you like, what you don't like, what you do, what you don't do, right? Networking is so important, so important. Talking to people is how they're going to get to know you. I reach out to people on my Facebook all the time that do yoga or put up a yoga post, and I hop into their inbox and we start talking about yoga, right? And I'm networking with them. But so next time they see my face on Facebook, or the next time they see me at Target, or they see me at the grocery store, they'll be like, hey, that's Krystle, the girl that does yoga, right? Right. So then if like I reach out to somebody and they're having trouble with their narcissistic mother and they need advice and they need someone to just talk to and a shoulder to cry on, and I hop into their inbox and talk to them about it, the next time they see me on Facebook or out at the grocery store, they're like, oh, that's the girl that had that psychotic mom, and she, you know, she really helped me feel a lot better about my psychotic mom. So networking and talking to the people in your network about the things you guys have in common is what's going to help brand you too. That's how people are going to know you as whatever it is you guys are talking about. So keep that in mind too when you talk to people. And I've come across this a few times where people are just negative Nancy's, right? Like if you're caught up in a conversation and you're just being negative and you're trash talking people and you're being negative Nancy and all these things, like you don't want to be known as that girl or that guy. If there's guys on here, sorry. You don't want to be known as that guy, right? You want to brand yourself as a happy person, somebody who's happy and healthy and you know, genuine and authentic and a friend, right? So brand yourself on that. So just be very, very like conscious about what you're talking about with people, right? Because they're going to remember, right? They're going to remember how you made them feel. Nobody ever remembers really much about what you say to them, but they're going to remember how you make them feel. So networking to set your brand is a big thing. Real quick, a little bit more. Hold on. My notes are a mess, you guys. I'm sorry. Okay, manage your reputation, right? So branding is almost like building a reputation for yourself, right? So manage your reputation. Privacy nowadays is basically non-existent with the internet and Facebook, right? Nothing's private anymore. Even if you set your Facebook to private, there's a friend on there who's public who could share your stuff with the public, right? So keep that in mind. Manage your reputation. So when you're posting and you're talking and you're doing lives and you're doing all these things, assume that anything you post can be viewed by the masses, right? You want to showcase yourself as knowledgeable, interesting, and fun to work with. Be sure to use good judgment. If there's anything out there you wouldn't want a potential employer to see, get rid of it and don't post it, right? And remember, your reputation is your best asset. What you're known for, your reputation is your best asset, you guys. And then lastly, as far as branding goes, be ready to fail. Okay, be ready to fail. Failure's tough, and all of us generally want to avoid it. Of course, that's human nature. However, to have a personal brand that rises above the rest, you need to have failure. So here's something I wrote down. Walt Disney spoke of this often when he reminisced about his failed first attempts at creating an animation brand. And he failed a lot. Walt Disney failed a lot, you guys. I don't know if you know anything about him, but he failed like bad, really bad. He said, I think it's important to have a good, hard failure when you do anything. You can learn a lot out of that because it makes you kind of aware of what can happen to you. And what can happen is never as frightening as not trying at all, right? I would rather fail than have to live with not knowing what would have happened if I didn't try. All right, so that's what I have on branding. Moving on, building relationships. Oh my God, you guys, this is literally the heart of your business. Literally the heart of your business, building relationships. Be a friend, okay? Be a friend. Stop like being a salesperson. And I know for some people it's like really hard. Like, how do I do this? How do I get product in people's hands and not sound salesy? You be their friend. You help fix problems. Get to know people, get to know them. Like when you are hopping into somebody's inbox and you are starting a conversation with them, the farthest thing from your mind should be selling them Thrive. And you guys are all probably thinking to yourself, like, what are you talking about right now? Like, that's what we do, right? We sell Thrive. Yes, that's what we do. But first and foremost, before that, we're building relationships, we're making friends, we're being a friend to people. And it's so, so important to do that, because people aren't going to buy from you if they don't trust you, right? Exactly, Ashley. People are not going to buy from you if they don't trust you. I can tell you there's so many people out there on your Facebook right now that want to try Thrive, but they're so scared to reach out to you, right? So it's our job to build a relationship with them to where they actually feel comfortable asking us questions about our products, asking questions about our business. So with that said, how do you build relationships with people? Hopefully the network that you're adding, the people you're adding to your network, have things in common with you, right? They have things in common with what you branded yourself on. So this is the next step. So now that you've branded yourself, you know who you are, you know what you like, you know what you're good at, you know what you can talk about for hours. Now you're going to take everything you just branded yourself on, and you're going to use that to start conversations with people in your network, because those are the kind of people you've added to your network, right? So I branded myself on yoga. Krystle is yoga, yoga, yoga. So when I'm talking to my friends on Facebook, we're talking about yoga, right? And then we just talk about anything and everything else, you guys. And I make it to where I'm available to talk to them about anything. It doesn't just have to be yoga, but that was definitely our conversation starter, right? And it got them to trust me. And then I'm there to help them solve problems, right? So if somebody's got a problem or whatever, they know that they can come to me with that instead of not. So once people start coming to you with their problems, they're putting some trust in you, right? And it's our job to continue to build that relationship with people. If you don't like talking to people, like in general, if you don't like talking to people and helping people and being a friend to complete strangers, you're probably not going to have a lot of success in this business. I'm just going to be real blunt with you right now, right? If you hate people, you are in the wrong business, girlfriend. So you might do some self-reflection. But if you have that in the forefront of your mind, that you love to help people and you're building these relationships with people, your business is gonna be amazing. Building relationships with people takes time. It takes time, you guys. You can't message somebody one day for 15 or 20 minutes and now be besties, right? You just open the door. You have to continue these conversations, you guys. So this is why it's super important to get organized and to know who you're in conversations with and what you're talking about. So whether you have it written down, whether you have an app like Trello, which is what I use, whatever it is, make sure that you have it down somewhere and that you schedule to talk to that person again in a couple weeks or maybe a week or whatever it is, to continue to build that relationship. And it's very easy to let people fall through the cracks when you're building relationships with people, because in all honesty, how many people are you talking to a day? I'll tell you right now, I'm in Messenger all day long. You guys, money is in the Messenger, and I'm talking to people and I'm building relationships, and I'm literally becoming a part of these people's life, where there's people that call me Aunt Krystle now. Like, I've just built a relationship with complete strangers and their kids are calling me Aunt Krystle. Like, that's a good relationship, right? If you're letting your kid call somebody auntie, you've built a pretty good damn relationship. So keep that in mind. Like, I know like it's kind of hard. I know in the beginning for me, like I'd start, talking to people and building a relationship, and then we'd stop talking at the end of the conversation. But then I never picked that conversation back up later on. I never did anything with it. And I tried so hard to build a relationship with that person, and then I never followed up with them. So a lot of building relationships with people is following up on those conversations that you're building a relationship with, right? Get to know people. So here's a tip when building relationships: let people talk about themselves. Let people talk about themselves. Don't talk about you the whole time. Let people talk. Let them vent. Let them tell you who they are, you guys, and pay attention. Pay attention to what they are saying, right? Because you know what? There's going to be little things in there in those conversations that you're going to need for when it's time to get them started on Thrive or to get them started in this business opportunity. Take notes about who they are, right? Are they somebody who's a go-getter? Are they shy? Are they introverted, extroverted? Are they tired? Are they exhausted because they have kids? How many kids do they have? Like, get to actually know them. So that way, if one day I came up to you and I'm like, oh, hey, I see you've been talking to Sierra over here. Who is Sierra? So I should be able to come to you and say, who is Sierra? And you should be able to tell me who Sierra is, what she likes, what she doesn't like, what she does for a living, how many kids she has. Is she married? Right? You should know these things about your network, about the people you're building relationships with, right? Don't just fake it. Don't just try to be fake and like, have these fake conversations and pretend like you care and like pretend like you really want to get to know this person. Actually get to know the person, okay? Because the more you know about this person and those little mental notes you make, and then later on when you're talking to them and you're like, oh yeah, I remember when you said da 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 da, they're gonna be like, oh my gosh, she actually remembered that. Or so like, for instance, I had a girl like 2.5 weeks ago tell me that she had an appointment with a heart doctor because she could possibly, they thought maybe she had a heart murmur, right? And I was like, oh my gosh, that's really scary. Let me know how it goes. When do you go see the doctor? And she gave me a date. She said, May 11th. What did I do? What did I do? Because I want to be a good friend to her. I wrote it down and scheduled a follow-up to talk to her on May 11th. And I reached out to her on May 11th and I said, hey, I just wanted to call or wanted to message you and say good luck at the doctor today with that heart murmur thing. Let me know what they say. You guys, the girl basically cried her eyes out. She's like, oh my gosh, I can't believe you remembered that and you reached back out to me. And, she got a hold of me later that day and told me all about her doctor visit. This girl, like, she's like, oh my God, you're such a, you're an amazing person, right? So I built that relationship with people. So just kind of think about that. Yes, be a good listener. Be somebody who can solve problems for people. That's literally what this entire business is all about, you guys, is relationships, right? Now, every once in a while, let's say you have somebody that you haven't built a relationship with, you never talked to them, right? And they just reach out and they're like, hey, I want Thrive. What is Thrive? What is this? That's when you start building a relationship with them, right? Even just then, at that very moment. So you explain to them what Thrive is, how does it work, and what it's going to do for them. Don't just be like, okay, so it's $150. Would you like me to walk you through your order? Don't do that. Don't do that. Like, people who do that, I just want to ram my head into a wall over and over and over again. Someone hops into your inbox and they're like, hey, I want to get started on Thrive. How much is it? And you respond with, it's $150. Here's my link. I just literally want to start freaking knocking heads together. Don't do that to yourself, you guys. Do not ever just send somebody a link and say it's $150. Like, you need to build a relationship with them starting now. Now, this is like speed dating. Stacy calls it speed dating, I'm pretty sure. So right now, this person you've never ever talked to, you need to speed date and get to know everything about this person that you can as quickly as possible. So first, you're going to dive in. Like, what do you like to eat? What do you drink for water? Do you have caffeine? Are you on medications? Do you have any kids? Tell me a little bit about yourself. Blah, 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 right? So you need to get a relationship started right there. So with that being said, I'm going to roll into closing, you guys, closing sales. So now you've built your brand. People know who you are. You can talk to people. People talk to you. They know you for whatever it is you branded yourself on, right? And then you started building relationships. You built relationships with people for months or weeks at a time, right? So now these people know who you are. They feel comfortable coming to you and they want to get the products, right? So now you're nervous. Now you're nervous. For some reason now, you're like, holy crap, now they're interested in the product or they're interested in the business opportunity. Now you're kind of nervous and scared and you don't want to say the wrong thing and scare them away. You guys, if you've already built a relationship with these people, you should feel so comfortable talking to them about anything at that point, about anything. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips and tricks on closing. And again, I hope you have a pen and pencil to write some of this down. And I'm really sorry if I'm kind of acting scatterbrained here, guys. I kind of bounce around a little bit, but, and then I'm going to kind of give you some wording that I use personally that always works for me, right? So first thing on my notes here, as far as closing goes, if you're brand new in this business or somewhat new at all, closing is probably like the furthest thing away from you. Like you have no idea. You just came into this business. You don't know that much about the products. You don't know like how to talk to people about the products. You don't know how to walk them through an order, et cetera, et cetera. Three ways with somebody that does, somebody who knows how to walk somebody through their order. A three-way with somebody who knows how to explain the products and what they're going to do, right? You get your potential into a three-way with an upline, a sideline, or even a downline. I have people in my downline that do things better than I do, right? So don't think you're too good for that on any level. But if you don't know how to close a sale or how to talk about the products or how to explain things for people, please utilize three-ways. That's what they are for, you guys. And then you literally just pay attention to what that person does and what they say, and you learn how to do it yourself, right? So let's say, okay, you're new and you got people in three-ways, but now you want to learn how to do this yourself. You want to learn how to close a sale yourself. You don't always want to have to depend on Brittany Hyder or Kaylee or Lisa to close your sale for you, right? You can only do that for so long until you have to learn to do it yourself, right? And then when you're doing it for yourself, you're going to be able to do it for your team, right? So then your team's going to be able to reach out to you and you're going to be able to close sales for them. And then you're going to teach them and then they're going to teach their people. And that's what we call duplication, right? And we duplicate everything over and over and over again. And that's what helps make you successful. Okay. So focus on the customer, focus on the potential, not the deal. I know it's really easy to get excited when somebody's interested in your product or the business opportunity, and you're just like, oh my God, you know, you're like, you get really excited. You're like, I need this QV, or this is the last promoter that I need for my VIP 800 and my VIP 1600, or whatever it may be. You get excited. Everybody does, right? It's amazing. It's fun. Like, yeah, I got a customer, they're ready to order, whatever it is, or they're interested in the product. But focus on the customer and not the deal. So don't even think about the commissions you're going to make on this, right? Don't even think about that. Pull yourself completely out of the equation completely. Like, here's Krystle, or here's Jackie or Julie, and then here's the potential. Pull yourself out and make it all about your potential. Literally make it all about them. They are on stage, the spotlight's on them, they are center of attention, right? When you're trying to sell something, it's really easy to focus on what you want, the deal, because that's important to you personally, obviously, right? Thinking that way, however, alienates your customers who want you to put their interests first, right? They want you to put their interests first. Putting the customer first increases the likelihood the customer will buy. So when they reach out to you, don't just talk about yourself. Don't talk about, definitely talk about what the product's done for you, so they kind of know, but ask them all the questions, you guys. Get to know them, make it all about them, right? And this rolls into my next thing. Know your product, but sell its relevance. Write that down. Know your product, but sell its relevance. What does that mean? How is it relevant to them? Like, know your product, know the details, you guys. And with this business coming in new, you're not going to know everything at a time, but make it a point to, at some point, learn what the hell your product is all about, what it's going to do, right? We're the expert. People come to us because they want to know about these products. And if you're not teaching yourself and letting people know like what these products are going to do for you, shame on you. Figure it out. You need to be the expert on your products, but also know its relevance to them. Why is it going to be relevant to them? What is it going to help them with? How is it going to solve their problem? What's it going to do for them, right? It's super, super, super important. And how do you know that? Research your customer. Research your customer. Ask them questions. I just talked about this a second ago. Ask them the questions like, what are you eating throughout the day? What are your goals? What do you want to do? Right? What weight do you want to be at? You want some energy. You need clearer skin. You want longer hair. Whatever it is, ask them questions and get to know them. Okay? Super, super, super important. It's difficult to put the customer's interests first and expose the relevance of your product. the relevance your product may have to that customer if you don't know much about the customer. So let's say you have somebody that hops into your inbox and they're interested in the product. Like, how do you know that Black Label is going to be the best for them if you don't ask them what their goals are and you're not getting to know them and what they need in their life, right? You have to know how this product is going to be relevant to them in their life. The holy grail of customer loyalty is to become their trusted person. You guys, you have to build trust with your people. You have to build trust, and that goes back to relationship building. Build trust with those people so that they trust you in everything. Be somebody who's seen as a valuable resource beyond a specific area. So I don't just want you to be their Thrive person, right? I don't want you to just be the person that sells them Thrive. Be more than that to them, right? Be more valuable to them than just selling them Thrive. Be somebody they can talk to. Be somebody they can open up to. Be somebody that can help them. And do your best to try and make their life easier, whatever it may be. Even if it is the products that's going to make their life easier, always try to make your customers' life easier because they're going to appreciate you for that. Okay, moving on. Create a sense of urgency when you're trying to close a sale. Okay, you guys, create a sense of urgency. Offer your person something time sensitive, right? Whether it's, you know, something free or something that lowers their cost, or free shipping, or like let them know like I can only do this for like 3 or 4 people. Create a sense of urgency. It can be like a discount or anything, and that might incentivize them to commit to you sooner rather than later, right? So if you could put a sense of urgency on it, they might be like, oh my God, I need to get this like now before I can't get it. This makes them feel they have the upper hand and that they have something to lose if they say no. And don't confuse this, you guys, please, please do not confuse this with rushing your prospect, with rushing your person. Don't confuse this with trying to push them and to rush them, because the last thing you want to do is to pressure them into saying no. A firm no. So keep that in mind as well. So instead, provide them with another reason why your product is the right choice for them, and why it's the right choice now, right? All right. Now here's something that a lot of people are really scared to do, including myself sometimes. Ask for the sale. Just ask for it. You've sat there, you've talked to them, you've gotten to know this person, and you told them all about the product, how it's going to help them, what it's going to do for them, how it's going to change their life. And now you're just kind of sitting there like, oh my God, that sounds so good. That sounds amazing. And then you're just sitting there like, now what? Now what do I say? Ask for the sale. Don't be afraid to ask for the sale. The worst thing they could say is no. That's it. That's the worst thing that could happen, is they could say no. And you better get used to hearing people say no if you're in this business, because you're going to hear it a lot. So don't be afraid of the no, and don't avoid the no. Okay. So the more no's you get, the closer to yes you are. Always, always. Okay. The more no's you get, the closer to yes you are. So I just have a few things here, and then I can get this wrapped up. A few closing questions to turn a no into a yes. So let's say you have somebody and they're like, yeah, no, I don't think I can do this, whatever it is. They don't have enough money, or now's not the right time, or my husband said we can't do this, or whatever their reason for no is. Here's a couple things that you can say to them that might get them thinking and get that no turned into a yes. So ask your person, do you think this is a good fit for what you need? Right? So they told you like, I want to lose weight. I want more energy, and I need more mental clarity and focus. So then you tell them that this product does this, this product does that, this product does this. And then they're like, yeah, I don't know. And then you ask them, well, do you think my solution, the products that I have that target those needs, is good for you, and why? Why do you think it'd be good for you to have more energy? Ask them that. They're like, wow, it'd be great because then I could like keep up with my kids. I can maybe get my house cleaned. You know, ask them why these products would be good to them after you've already told them why, right? So when they hear themselves say that to themselves, like, yeah, it would be great. You know, it would really help with energy and my mental clarity and focus, and I could play with my kids after school. Like when they hear themselves say that, they basically sell it to themselves, right? Next, when do you want to make a decision and begin the product? So let's say they're like, now's not really a good time for me. Don't say, okay, I understand. Ask them when a good time will be. Ask them when's a good time for us to hop back on the phone or in Messenger and get this product in your hand. When's a good time for you? And then when they tell you like, okay, well, I get paid on Friday. Okay, make a note, schedule to follow up with them on Friday, and then follow up with them on Friday and make the sale, right? So say somebody's on the edge, they're kind of like, I don't know, this, that, or anything. Ask them like, what would it take for you to consider this? What would it take for you to order today? What do you need from me? Like, pay shipping and handling, $10 off coupon. What do you need to be able to put this order through today? So in my conversations, once I've explained everything to them, what the products do and all that, at the very end, I always say, I have a few minutes right now to help you walk you through your order. Is it okay if I call you? At the end of everything, I always say that. I've got a few minutes right now. Let's go ahead and get your order in. Like I tell them what they're going to do, right? I don't even give them a choice really. I'm just like, hey, I've got a few minutes. Let's go ahead. Let's get your order in. Let's get this shit in your hand because it sounds like you need this. You need this ASAP, like right now, right? So I pretty much don't really give them a choice. Another thing you can say is, unless you have any other questions about the products or you have any other concerns, if you don't have any, are you ready? Are you ready to go ahead and order? So I always ask them that at the very end, they're like, oh, that sounds great. I'm like, all right, so if you don't have any more questions or concerns or anything, let's go ahead and get you rolling. And then that's pretty much all I got there. So with that being said, guys, closing. So when I got about 10 minutes, hold on. When I'm in a conversation with somebody and we're talking about the products and what they're going to do, I always start by asking them questions. What are your goals? What do you want to do for your health? Are you on any kind of medication? How's your diet look? What are you eating every day? Give me an idea of what your daily diet looks like. How much water are you drinking? How much caffeine are you taking in? All of these questions, so I get to know my person. So that way, when I create them a package, it's tailored to their needs and their lifestyle. Okay. Now, most people have a really crappy diet, right? And they know this, they're aware of that. So I've created a whole diet for people, right? A healthy diet, things to eat and things to avoid. I took the time to make those for my people. Also talking to them, listen to what they have to say, take notes and write it down. You guys write it down in your notebook, wherever you keep track of it, write it down in Trello, however it is, because you're going to be talking to hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, and it's completely impossible to remember every conversation, right? So when someone pops up in my inbox and it's Joe Schmo, and I'm looking at them like, crap, I cannot remember what the hell we talked about. I can go back and look at my notes, be like, oh, okay, now I remember what we talked about because I wrote it down. So once you get all that information, you get everybody's information about what they want, what their diet's like, et cetera, then I actually go and I build them a package. I build them 3 packages, a best, a better, and a good. And I don't know who I stole this from. I don't know if it was Brittany or somebody did this, but I use that as a basis for any and all packages that I create for people. So I'll create a best package, which for the most part is the 3 steps with either Ultra or TAC DFT with balance and sculpt capsules, right? And I give them the retail price, and then I give them the auto ship price, but I don't label it like that. I don't say, oh, here's the retail price and here's the auto ship price. It's labeled, today, this deal is $240. And then in parentheses, it says normally $356. So they can see a price comparison there, right? And they're like, oh, wow, look at the discount I'm getting on that. And then I do a better package. So then I knock it down a little bit. I take the 3 steps with TAC DFT and just balance capsules. I get rid of the sculpt, right? Drop it down another 30 bucks. And then I give them those prices. And then I do the very last package, which is the good package. And that's basically the 3 steps at $150, which is normally $240. And I send that to them. And then after I send that to them, like, I'm always using voice clip, you guys, by the way. Side note, use your voice clip, use your voice so people get to know you and they can hear you and they can hear the passion you have about the products and what they're going to do for you. Always, always, always use your voice clip. But when I create their packages, I type it out so that way they can actually see it and kind of choose. So then I send them those 3 package options. And then I say, the best option is going to cover everything for you and what most people choose. Keyword, what most people choose, okay? Because most people are going to want to do what most people do. People want to fit in. People want to be part of a community. People want to do what other people do, right? So I always throw that in there. The best option is going to do everything for you and what most people choose, you guys. And I'm telling you that they always choose the best option. I never sell $150 worth of product, ever. It's always $240 or more. And I always start out high, always start out high. I start out with the biggest, baddest package possible, right? I give them all the products that are gonna hit every single one of their goals. So I even have packages that have the 3 steps, the TAC DFT, sculpt, balance, rest, move, and then I even throw in the activate, and then I give them the price of that. Like, that's the biggest possible package. Don't count yourself out with $150 just basic 3 steps. You guys start big and then work your way down. Don't start way down here because you could make a sale that's way up here. It's just, they don't know what that is. You have to offer that to them, right? You have to build that package for them. You can't just assume that they know that there's other options, that there's more than just the 3 steps. Yes, that's what our whole entire business is based on, is the simplicity of the 3 steps, you guys. But we have other badass products that we can throw in with the 3 steps that are really going to get them some amazing results, right? And get them feeling amazing. So make sure you give them those options. And like I said earlier, stop sending them your link and saying it's $150. It takes work. Yeah, you're going to have to take the time out. You're going to have to sit down. You're going to have to see what it costs retail. So you're going to have to sit there on the computer or on your phone and put everything in your cart as retail price and see what that price is, and then empty your cart and then go back in and put everything in there on an auto ship to see what that's going to cost. Yeah, it's work. It's going to take a little bit of work, but it's worth it, you guys. All right, I'm not going to keep talking your ear off. I hope I brought you guys some value today and some really good ideas as far as closing, building relationships, and branding yourself goes. You guys, it takes work, it takes time, it takes consistency. Be a friend first and foremost, and make it about your customer, okay? Because it's more important about them. Kind of looking in the comments right now to see if anybody had any questions.
Can I answer a couple questions real quick?
Yeah, go for it, babe.
Promoter prices are different. Ours are always listed as the auto ship price. I have price sheets on almost every single team page with auto ship and retail. If you want to print that out, you can. That way you're not having to play with a cart. You'll have, I mean, they're right here. So I can look, okay, Homegirl wants balance, $52 on retail. It's $40 on auto ship. So you can have that stuff right in front of you all the time.
Yep, literally, you guys. So make it a point, get organized, have your shit. I have a binder. My binder has everything in it, dynamic duos, the pricing list. So I can just pull it out really quick and on the spot and be like, okay, yeah. So normally someone's like, hey, I'm interested in that balance. And they're like, how much is it? I'm like, normally it's like $62, but I can get it for you for like $30 today. And then they're like, oh, bet, I'll take it, right? I don't think there's, can you repost it? I would love to print it out. Thank you, Krystle. Okay, you guys. I hope I brought some really good value to you guys today. I think now, is there somebody that reads 100 Days to Brave? I don't,
Yep.
Who's that?
Sky's reading it today. And while she's reading, guys, if you'll drop in the comments if you've never won a morning prize before, Krystle's going to pick somebody who says me. Me. Just kidding. I'm not going to sing for you. Krystle, if you'll kind of scroll through and just pick somebody. And Sky, if you will do our 100 days.
Yes, absolutely. Okay, day 72. Please exercise. I appeal to you, therefore, brothers, by the mercies of God, to present your bodies as a living sacrifice, holy and acceptable to God, which is your spiritual worship. Here's the thing. Yes, exercise, but not just to look good. Sure, exercise makes you look and feel healthier, but that's not why you should do it. A lifestyle of daily exercise is not about losing weight. Your size isn't the issue. There isn't an attractive size or an ugly size, but there is a point at which you become unhealthy and your body suffers. Exercise doesn't have to consist of running a marathon unless that's something you want to do. I have no clue why that would be quote unquote fun, but if it makes you happy, go for it. Just go on a walk, join a gym or a recreational sports team. Just get out there and move your body. Your body needs to be honored and treated well. Your body was meant to move. It was not meant to be still. You need your muscles and all your bones to be strong enough to do all the things that you were called to do for as many years as you're meant to be here. In Romans, Paul told us to present our bodies as a living sacrifice. And here's the truth of the matter. If we don't take care of our bodies, we are limiting our ability to do his work. Seriously, if we aren't kind to our bodies, if we aren't treating our bodies well, we are shortening our impact on the planet. I really believe that. God has put us on this planet to spread his love, to be his love to the people around us. And he's giving us these amazing bodies to get us from point A to point B. You know what's not brave? Being a couch potato. Taking care of your body and being strong so that you can help others, that is brave. Brave people exercise and see it as a form of obedience to God. You can do this, friend. I believe in you. You can stop viewing your body as a thing you want to be smaller or bigger or this or that and start viewing it as a temple of God that you get to spend your life caring for and using for his glory. Today's task is be brave. Take a walk, go to the gym, go swimming, train for a 5K. As my yoga studio sign always says, pursue sweat.
Love it.
It's very good.
Sneak peek, Fridays is please eat your veggies. No, just kidding. Krystle, who won?
So today is Tony Glan or Tony Glan. I don't know how to pronounce her last name.
Message me.
Congratulations.
Krystle, thank you so much for your wisdoms. And I'm gonna need to steal that robe. You look so comfortable.
Oh, I am. I really am.
Okay, all right. If you will message me, I will get you the list of options. Yep, that's the right word, Brittany. Learn how to talk. And we will get it sent out ASAP. We'll see you guys back here Friday. Same time, same number, different speakers. I don't know who Friday is. We'll find it on Friday. All right, y'all have a good day. Bye, y'all.